9440. 4405. 944405. 1905. 19.
All right, welcome back, crime fighters, for another edition of Calhoun County's Most Wanted, the program where you get to help make Calhoun County a better and safer place by helping us lock up some of the bad guys. I'm Chris Wright, along with Calhoun County Sheriff Matthew Wade. Good to see you, Sheriff.
It's always good to be with you, Chris.
And let's go ahead and say thank you to our viewers for the work that they've done.
Absolutely. Thank you for what you did. 6 arrested this week brings a total up to 4,573 people put in jail, all because you were willing to help us, and that is an important aspect of what we do for our job. It's us and you working together, and in the day's time, that's even more important than ever.
Let's talk about Facebook posts that you made here a few days ago. Everybody's been talking about George Floyd and his
Absolutely.
unfortunate death. A lot of people probably didn't expect people in law enforcement positions to speak out specifically about what happened in that instance. We think sometimes that they're not going to talk about it because it's other officers, but you and some other law enforcement leaders have spoken out about it.
Absolutely. You know, I don't want to try to get political credit for speaking for something for my benefit, but when I saw the video, it was a hard thing to watch. There was nothing about it that made me feel good, warm, or even defensible. That guy committed murder. He's been arrested for it, and I hope that he's prosecuted and gets the full sentence as anybody else would for what he did. I don't know any law enforcement officer that I've spoken with or that I know that says anything different. They all support the prosecution of this guy. You know, and what's really upsetting to us is as sheriff, I'm elected by the people, which is a little different than police departments. You know, their leaders are appointed, but being elected really makes you to be in tune. And we talk about it every week on this show about it. Us, we serve for the citizens. It's not the other way around. And you know, people's being able to redress their government is in the Constitution. You know, people aren't happy, and that's how change happens. That's how we become a country. You know, we fought for that right from the British. I mean, there's all these times in history where people affected change. Now, I'm not for hurting people. I'm not for tearing up people's property in any shape, form. But being able to redress your government for things that you don't like, that is what this country's about.
This is not the first video that has captured the world's attention. It has gotten a little bit of a different response. A lot of times we hear, let's don't rush to judgment. In this case, it's been a fairly quick response from even law enforcement officials that say the video appears clear and we need to go ahead and speak out about this.
We watched Mr. Floyd die right there on video, and violence, whether it's for good or bad, is always hard to watch, but I don't know what led up to it. But you know, the man was saying he couldn't breathe. He was in handcuffs. He laid there for 9 minutes or so. He should have got him up, put him in the car, got medical treatment. There's a lot of things he could have done. He just stood there and looked at the crowd. I don't understand why he did that. I don't understand what they were doing or why they were doing it. I wasn't there, but nothing about it seems to be right. I can't sit here and tell you I know what it's like to be a black person. I can't do that. I think it'd be insultive if I did that. All I know is Matthew Wade cares about people. I want to do what's right. I want to help folks. And a lot of what we do sometimes is controversial. There's one side that wants us to arrest somebody. There's another side that thinks you shouldn't. So we have to work really hard to try to make sure that we're fair in what we do. While we're not the judge and jury, we are the people's law enforcement. And so much of what we do has got to be done on the people's behalf. It's hard to say it accurately. All I know is when there's doubt, you should always go on the side of the citizen. And as law enforcement, we need to make sure that we do things where when we deal with people that we're doing it right, that that we are empathetic, sympathetic. We try to help. I tell my people all the time, you can be safe and nice. You know, we should be nice. You know, we should be something that people can come to. It breaks my heart to be put in a light of being the bad guy. You know, everybody I know, 99% of the law enforcement get into it because they're the good guys. You know, they are good guys. It's a noble profession. And to see somebody like that officer in Minnesota do so much damage, take a life and do so much damage across this nation is just heartbreaking. I really worried for our country. I pray that we can find a way to resolve these grievances and for us to live together to make our country a better place for all people. You know, we all have family and children and we want what's best, and we live in a great country. We need to find a way to fix this so we can all live together and have a way for everybody to feel that they're being treated fairly in this country. So it's difficult.
All right, we need to take a break. When we come back, we'll have the first half of this week's lineup on Calhoun County's Most Wanted. We'll talk some more about this subject as well. Michael Barton is going to join us from the Calhoun County Emergency Management Agency, and we'll talk about how prepared Calhoun County is in case things escalate here locally when we come back on Calhoun County's Most Wanted.
Scammers are taking advantage of the coronavirus outbreak. FTC Tip number 7. Watch for emails claiming to be from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. The agency doesn't email people directly. For the most up-to-date information, visit the CDC and World Health Organization websites. Visit coronavirus.gov to learn more. A message from the FTC and BBB.
All right, let's take a look at this week's lineup on Calhoun County's Most Wanted. First up, Anthony McKinney of Oxford, wanted on a probation violation for possession of a controlled substance. Constance Murphy of Oaks Bluff, wanted on a probation violation, possession of a controlled substance. Thomas Hallman of Heflin, wanted on probation revocation, possession of a controlled substance. Joshua Minton of Piedmont, wanted on a probation violation for possession of a forged instrument and also possession of a controlled substance. Kenneth Beard of Pell City, wanted on a probation violation for receiving stolen property, first degree. And Pauline Trammell of Ohatchee, wanted on bond revocation for criminally negligent homicide. That's the first half of this week's lineup. We'll have some more for you coming up in just a little bit. If you have information to share, please call Calhoun County Crime Stoppers at 256-238-1414. All right, well, as promised, we are bringing a guest onto the program to continue our discussion. Michael Barton is the director of the Emergency Management Agency in Calhoun County. Michael, you've been a little bit busy here lately.
We have, unfortunately, with COVID and now, you know, the demonstrations that are going on around the country and around the state. You know, we are on heightened alert for that, so it's been a busy time.
I would like to take a moment to say Michael has done a wonderful job for our county during the pandemic. He has been on it. He has done very well in organizing other people and getting things done, and I really appreciate that, and I mean that.
Well, thank you, Sheriff. I appreciate that. It's been a great team effort to see the people, the agencies, the leaders of Calhoun County come together, and I feel like we really have been able to make a difference.
Well, whether it's through luck, planning, whatever, Calhoun County has fared a lot better in this pandemic than a lot of other areas have. So yeah, I'm going to throw that thank you in there as well. Public, y'all keep on doing a great job. Everybody, keep doing the best that you can, and
That's
hopefully
right.
that will continue here in Calhoun County. So where are we right now? Before we get back to the other topic, where are we with COVID-19 in Calhoun County?
So a couple weeks ago, our numbers were trending downward. Significant decrease in numbers. Hospitalizations had stopped. All the positive COVID patients had been discharged from the hospital, so we're at a really good place. Unfortunately, over the last 8 days or so, we've seen an uptick now in cases again. Not to an extremely alarming level, but it still are some early indicators that we do have some community spread ongoing. And so it's important for everybody still to be practicing those good, safe things. We talked about that 6-foot distancing, the face coverings when we're out in public, good hand washing, you know, and if you don't have to be out, don't be out. Because we do know that there is a level of community spread that has started a resurgence in Alabama, in Georgia, but in specifically, we have started seeing that also here in Calhoun County.
And one of the topics that's been brought up with the unrest that we've seen nationwide, we've got groups that are not socially distancing and not doing things safely, and they can argue this is an urgent matter that needs to be addressed. We're not going to debate that.
That's right.
But there is a health risk.
There is. Everybody does have their rights to go and peacefully assemble in the public square and have their opinions be heard. But we have to do that in a safe way, and not just from the physical safety of the violence that we have seen across the country, but also from a health standpoint, that we still do need to practice those good precautions of being apart, of face coverings, of not touching each other. We've seen a lot of the images of people holding hands at some of the peaceful protests, and some of that even locally. And the point behind that is good, but still we have to be cognizant of the threat of COVID, and we don't want to make a bad situation worse. And so people that are going to go out and peacefully demonstrate, they need to practice those good social distancing and good personal hygiene efforts even during those times as well.
And Sheriff, I know that you've kept a close eye on demonstrations that have already happened in Calhoun County, and you're
I'm really proud
preparing.
of them, to be honest with you. Very proud of them. I mean, what they have done has been very positive, and it's not been. They have not done any criminal acts, and the people that done it seem to be good people with a good message that they're very caring about.
And the Sheriff's Office and other law enforcement agencies have been coordinating with the Emergency Management Agency in case things do escalate into a different situation.
Yes, but one thing is as sheriff, if somebody invited me to come, I would come. It's kind of a double-edged sword. You care about your community, you care about the people here, you love Calhoun County. I love Calhoun County, and I want people to be peaceful, and I want them to be respected. But showing up at something like this could do more harm than good. I wouldn't want to show up and somebody think I was there to try to see if they're committing a crime. So if you go, it's a double-edged sword. But we have talked with the EMA, police chiefs, and I have spoke, the DA's office, and we've all kind of been communicating. And but so far in Calhoun County, we haven't had any problems with people in Calhoun County doing anything wrong. What they've been doing is protected speech, and I applaud them for acting and taking matters into their hands that they think need to be changed.
All right, so we need to take a quick break, but Michael, I know that the governor has given you and the EMA a very specific role in making sure that things don't get out of hand. We want to talk about that when we come back here on Calhoun County's Most Wanted. All right, here we go with the second half of this week's lineup on Calhoun County's Most Wanted. Bradley Intrican of Heflin, wanted on a probation violation for possession of a forged instrument. Nicholas Weber of Anniston, wanted on a probation violation for possession of a forged instrument. Elliot Hudson of Ohatchee, wanted on a probation violation, theft of property, first degree. Tyler Hotchkiss of Ohatchee, wanted on a failure to appear warrant for endangering the welfare of a child. Stephen Rogers of Gadsden, wanted for failure to pay for robbery, first degree. Devin Lee of Bessemer, Alabama, wanted on a failure to appear warrant for burglary, third degree. Jarrell Gladden of Anniston, wanted on failure to appear warrants for possession of a controlled substance and trafficking methamphetamine. If you have information about anyone in this lineup, please call Calhoun County Crime Stoppers. The number is 256-238-1414. All right, we will have some property crimes in just a few minutes that we need your help solving. Right now, we're talking with Michael Barton from the Calhoun County Emergency Management Agency. And Michael, in situations like the United States and Calhoun County are facing right now, tough decisions have to be made. And the governor has kind of put a big one in your lap, hasn't she?
Well, the governor did yesterday issue a memo out that affirms the EMA's role and responsibility throughout the state and in the counties as a point of coordination, collaboration, and communication. And so, we were talking about the threat of, violence and riots and those type of things, and certain requests that may need to be made for state resources, and that is done through the local emergency management agency. If the sheriff needs additional help, it's our job to go try to help find him that help, try to support those law enforcement efforts on the ground, and we take care of all the behind the scenes stuff, the logistics pieces, so he can focus on the mission of keeping the people safe out in the community.
Do you feel like Calhoun County is well, you can't predict the future, but do you feel like Calhoun County is well prepared to respond if things change?
I do. I definitely do. I think that right now we have no reason to believe that things would change and progress to a place that it shouldn't be. As the sheriff mentioned earlier, folks have been peacefully assembling. The demonstrations have all been positive. But we do have plans in place, for bad situations. We do closely communicate and coordinate with the sheriff, the district attorney, the police chiefs throughout the county. We have great relationships, and that's the first thing is relationships. The second is resources. There is good resources in this county to be able to respond with adequate equipment if necessary. And then resilience. The people and the public safety professionals, Calhoun County, they're resilient and they're tough, and they can get through anything. And so we feel confident that with those things in place that all is well and all will continue to be well.
And right now would be a good time, wouldn't it, for anybody in the community that has something on their mind to share that with law enforcement and the Emergency Management Agency, any plans that they have, coordinating, and just knowledge of what's going on can help us have the best outcomes, right?
That's right. If you're planning to have a demonstration or a protest somewhere, make sure you contact your local law enforcement agency. Let them know what your plans are, who the point of contact for that demonstration will be. That way, if there are any problems, they can call them directly and say, hey, we've got a situation over here, not sure about. Because for the most part, my experience, I'm a 15-year law enforcement officer as well and have dealt with protests in the past in another county. And with that being the case, I've always found it very helpful to have that personal contact with the leader of a protest, the leader of that demonstration, and that way any issues or perceived issues can be worked out while it's going on so that it can protect those that are exercising their rights to demonstrate. And it's a good partnership that way with the local law enforcement.
All right. We're in it together. Let's be as together as we possibly can.
Exactly.
All right. We need to take another quick break. We'll be back and try to lighten the mood a little bit with our crazy criminal of the week, and we'll also have some property crimes that hopefully you can help us solve. All right, let's see if you can help us solve some property crimes. Between April 30th and May 22nd, a couple of game cameras were taken from a location on New Liberty Circle in Jacksonville. An unknown person was seen on the property. On May 26th, a burglary was reported at a storage facility on Alexandria Wellington Road in Alexandria. A single unit was found to have the lock cut off. Between May 21st and May 26th, a brown bumper-pulled Cherokee Gray Wolf camper trailer was stolen from a storage facility located on Highway 21 South in Oxford. If you have information about these crimes or any other crimes in Calhoun County, please call Crime Stoppers at 256-238-1414. We want your information, not your name.
Stupid! You're so stupid!
Sheriff, when you're pulling over someone for a crime and they're in a vehicle, you never know quite what to expect when you stop that vehicle and go up to the window, all right? We have an individual who stole a truck, led officers on a 80-mile-an-hour high-speed chase. They finally stopped the vehicle. When she got out, this 52-year-old woman attacked the officers. Attacked is probably not the right word, but with a glitter bomb.
Whew. While that's pretty funny, that's not very safe.
No, it's not.
But I have seen some people get glitter bombs in their office before. I'm not saying that's happened at the sheriff's office, but it's pretty funny when it does go off. But doing that at a law enforcement officer is not a safe thing.
Not a good idea.
Not
All right, I know. Let's let you have the floor here for the final word.
I really don't know if I have the right words to say, but I do know this. I care about you. I care about Calhoun County. I love you. I love your families, and I want you all to be safe. And just know the sheriff's office is here to try to help you any way possible, and we're always open for dialogue, and we do care. Thank you for all that you've done. Thank you for peaceful protests and demonstrations. And if you need the sheriff, I'm always available. Thank you.